Jesus, all the way. I'll forever trust in you. Jesus, all the way.
JC24 7.
There are three things that men like and find it difficult to understand: females, girls, and women. Oh, you ladies, okay. It's just a quotation, right? But you must agree that there are more than just subtle differences between male and female as we continue our discussion. And this segment is entitled, Think Like a Woman. Well, we have invited some men who can help us think, I hope, like a woman. And the first question I want to ask you guys is, it's a true and false question. Women are easy to understand. True or false? False. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Well, you guys sound biased. Jerome, let's start with you. Are there differences? I'm sure there are some subtle differences between male and female. What are the key differences you have found in your short life?
In my short life is correct. One of the things I have noted about women that are different to men is that women seem to have a higher sense of emotional intelligence. So they tend to consider situations or aspects that men may not necessarily consider in performing actions or giving responses.
Okay. There are other differences you guys have seen?
I believe that women are more in tune to detailed opinions and to detailed works, like in terms of like decorating a home or seeing the softer side of things. Women are more tailored made for those sort of situations, and also in terms of communication, they are more open to communication than men.
Now, unanimously, you guys have said that women are difficult to understand. Why is that? What makes it difficult? Has anything to do with our brain or their brain? What?
I think it's more of the way in which the social environment allows women and men to grow up. Men, because of the social norm, would be expected to act a particular way, and so they would grow into that. And women expected to act a particular way and grow into that. Certainly,
of course, that must be as a result of the hard wiring of their brain, because if all men think that way and all women think as you have described, it could be a lot has to do with how they are wired to think. Are there ways that they think that make it difficult for you to understand them?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes. And there's a point, although a little bit controversial, but it points to socialization. When girls sit down to watch shows, they watch different television shows than men. And sometimes you find girls are more in tune to shows where show a man being perfect, or a man or looking for a man who could provide this spark or this instant romance, this telepathical connection, and you find that it's hard now as a man to replicate that. So women come with those expectations of this man who is so suave, without error, without fault, and men struggle to understand that type of thinking. So I believe in that, in terms of socialization, that factor, what females expose themselves to in terms of romance novels and romance movies, they set themselves up sometimes for a fall.
Well, should you blame them? I mean, that's how they are wired. If they are wired to be attracted to romance, it could be a lot, or a lot could be because of what you have said, the emotional side of women. They like those kinds of things. What is it that men will be attracted to that women will like stay away from, that makes them different from each other?
I think that's largely a function of the personalities of the people involved, right? We all have different values. For example, one of my values would be honesty and forthrightness, right? So if I meet a woman who is able to be forthright, say what she thinks, and has clear conversational skills, right, then that impresses me personally, but that might be for me alone. So to say who it attracts is rather of a spectrum thing.
But do you, in your experience, have you met women generally who say what they think?
Luckily I have.
Well, you have met people there. But do women generally do that? Do they say to you what they think, or do they hope that you would guess what they're thinking?
Well, from socializing with a couple of women, from what I've realized, there seems to be a taboo among the female gender concerning being forthright. It seems that way. It seems that a lot of them believe that by saying what you think is a bad thing, and women are required to be mysterious.
So you're calling them liars? Is that what you're saying?
No, sir.
Jerome, you want to say something?
I believe that women, on a whole, well, they like to speak more than we do, and because of that, they go into great detail, as Sean was saying, into when they speak, and we as men, we tend to speak a lot less than them, and it shows, as in, for instance, if a woman has to, she expects us to understand without
Right.
her saying it.
Right.
So something happens and
Right.
you're supposed to know certain things.
Right.
And she has this, and as Sean was saying before also, they have this idea of a perfect man.
Right.
Right, and what he should do, not just in terms of romance, outside of that as well. So that if, let's say you and your wife go to somewhere and a fire breaks out,
Right.
she's going to look at you like, do something.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But we are not superheroes. We are just men
So
like them.
it means that you wouldn't do anything, my brother?
No, not that I wouldn't do anything, but I can't stop this fire from burning.
For sure. What do you want to say something here?
I think in terms of communication is where things fall down a lot.
Right.
In terms of the signals that women expect you to pick up, I don't know if they are aware that a lot of signals are absent on men.
A lot of what?
A lot of these signals are absent on men.
okay.
And there's a big craze, as we all know, Facebook. There are photos that come across with what women say and what they really mean. I don't know if anybody have seen those photos.
Right.
So if they say, well, you can do what you want, it has a totally opposite meaning to that.
Right.
Well, okay then.
Right.
That has a totally opposite meaning. So men who want receivers to these signals are going to take what you see at face value, and then they suffer for it in the end.
Right.
And it seems vindictive then when you come and you act differently because they thought everything was all right.
Right.
So I believe, as Jerome said, say what you mean. And
Yeah, but
most women
okay, so
struggle.
this program is entitled Think Like a Woman, and it is geared towards helping men think like women, because women think like women, because they're women, right? Should there be a compromise?
Yes.
Yes.
Anderson.
Like thinking like a woman, that would bring into the realm of the points that we just touched on, that the woman wouldn't say exactly what she means,
Right.
but she would expect you, because she's thinking like a woman,
Right.
to know that she means this.
Right.
So as a male, you could only assume and put your best foot forward that
Right.
this is probably the issue.
Right.
And she may not necessarily want you to get, okay, this is what is wrong, and
Right.
do the right thing. Perhaps she's just looking for a little attention, a little care,
Right.
showing that feminine side in a male then.
But surely after some trial, excuse me there, but after some trial and error, you'll get the hang of it, I suppose, you know?
Well, you see, the thing is, right, that it's not always that simple. What happens if you make the wrong assumption and you act on the wrong outcomes, right?
Learn.
So part of it comes down to this. I once saw a joke on Facebook, and it said, women, we should love them without understanding them.
Right.
But it just comes down to this. You don't always have to solve a woman's problem. Sometimes you just want somebody to talk to. And being that someone to talk to can go a long way to helping understand.
Well, you have begun to think like a woman.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Jerome.
You're asking for compromise, right?
Sure.
And I think that the compromise would not come from our gender per se, because it's impossible for us to know what you think unless you say it.
Right.
And that's where a lot of women, they just expect us, he should know that. So there has to be compromise, but not from our side.
It might be unfair to say that the woman alone must make the compromise. Perhaps you could start thinking what she may be thinking, and you may just come up with what she's thinking after a while, you know? Okay, before we close this segment, and the ladies will be coming on shortly to either rebut or support what you're saying. Well, what are the benefits of having women around? Because from what you guys are saying, I'm scared for them. But what are some of the benefits? Quickly.
They complement the male in
Right.
terms of just how we were speaking, that males are more goal oriented. This is the problem, this is the solution,
Right.
and we tend to disregard or forget or look over the
Right.
little fine details that may affect getting to the goal.
Sure.
Women would come in the picture, look at these fine details, and help the male and the woman combine together. Having her around would allow you to reach the goal more efficiently.
Come on, you have to add to that.
Women provide stability to a man's life. They also provide, as Anderson started to allude to, the softer side to certain issues that men may overlook.
Right.
They help you to look at all the details from different angles as well.
Right.
Emotive intelligence is something that comes along as well. So I believe women have a part to play to refine a man.
Right.
Sometimes you hear the little cliche that a man edges is often trimmed when he gets married.
Have
So
mercy.
there's a role for women to play to bring that stability and that forward moving mentality, sometimes even to a man who is direct.
Okay, beautiful. Jaron, you want to add to that?
Yeah, just started. I believe that when God created, He created woman, Eve, for a purpose
Right.
to help Adam, not to be superior or to be below or above. Is
Right.
to be at his side to help him,
Good.
to make him.
Beautiful. Well, good. I hope the women are thinking the way you are thinking.
We hope so too.
We continue the segment just in a little bit as we continue our series on Think Like a Woman. This has been the woman's version. Soon the women will be on set to either decide that they will think like the way the man is thinking. Think about it a while until we come back.
I'll forever trust in you. Jesus all the way.
JC24-7. JC24 7.
Welcome back to our segment on Think Like a Woman. And this time we have invited women to see if we men have been thinking the way they are thinking or the way they think. And on set we have Brittany, Chelsea, Sharice and Valley. I think, maybe let's ask a general question. Do you think men understand women?
No.
Huh? Brittany, you haven't responded. You're not sure?
No, I don't think they understand.
They don't understand. Okay. Chelsea, let's start with you then. What do they understand, if anything at all? They said they don't generally understand you, but maybe there are one or two things that they do understand. What would you venture to say?
Okay, men generally understand that we are emotional to situations, any situation, and they understand that we think ahead of things and we always want to come to a conclusion whether it is right or wrong. What they don't understand is what we go through, if it's mentally or physically, because they are of the opposite sex.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you help us to understand what we don't understand?
I would think by communicating.
Who communicating? The
Women communicating to men.
Okay. Do women communicate well to men?
I believe they do. Sometimes they overdo.
Okay, they talk too much.
Yes.
Okay. Well, some men, the men have said that the women talk twice as much as
men.
Is it that you guys have much more to say, or you just say much more?
We just want to fully explain so that you can't say I don't understand after I just tell you in 10 different ways. Make one to understand.
But if it's difficult for them to understand you, and this is the question I really wanted to get, this is about thinking like a woman. A man is a man. He will always think logical. But, well, that's what makes him who he is. How does he move from being logical to being emotive like women?
I think with being thoughtful and then getting to know your partner. I'm taking it from a relationship perspective. If I'm with somebody, I'm thinking as a man here, if I want to really understand my partner, I would ask questions. Well, why do you feel this way? And so prompt different things so that my partner could fully explain. Sometimes I might ask this today, but later on in the week I could ask again just to make sure if it's the same thing. So it's all about communicating one with another to really understand.
Just for curiosity's sake, Sharice, do women understand themselves?
No, I don't think so sometimes.
How you expect us to understand you guys if we don't understand yourself?
Bubbling up. Sometimes it just be a wonder that we could get through the day without biting on someone's head.
I will say, what don't you understand about yourself? Now, women are listening, so you're going to be representing. So let's hear.
For me, example, if I know I'm getting angry, I will stay silent. But for some other women, they just come to, like something choking them, they come to choke you as well, to make you flare up and be aggressive as they do. But
today we have what we call the professional woman, Brittany, the career woman, the educated woman. But the Bible says that women, submit yourself unto your own husbands. Is that still relevant for the professional woman and the career woman?
I think it is. Okay. I think that we still have, I think it was mentioned in the last segment, men being the priests of the home and keeping the family, being the provider and whatnot. I do believe that women should still have, your husband is still the head, in the sense that even though you guys are supposed to communicate and you guys still come to conclusions together, there is still some form of respect that you should have. I do believe in that.
So you are a CEO, he is a Mason. Respect him.
Yeah, I think in the context of the marriage. One thing that I do find happens a lot is that sometimes, take the same example, a man might not be comfortable with that. And because of that, he uses his authority as kind of like a beating ground to kind of say, well, I'm macho now, even though I make less than you, that shouldn't be the case. If you're comfortable with yourself.
Let's add a little spin to it.
Yeah, okay.
You as a career woman, you got your house and you got married to this Mason. Who's in charge of the house?
Well, we are together. I would join him in on that.
Women agree, right?
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes.
What a lovely ladies we have on this panel here today. If there's one thing you'll want these guys to understand about you, what will it be?
Patient.
Patient with you.
Everything does not come easy.
Okay,
So
like
to be
understanding
patient.
you. All right. Chelsea.
Yeah, I was going to say how we think. that when a situation comes up, we don't want to just say have one answer and then leave it as it is. We want to come at the end of it and say, okay, because this happened, I want to know what will happen next. Whereas a man, he will just want to back down and say, okay, you win.
Right.
We women don't want that. We
Right.
want to go through it.
Right.
Just so that we can mostly prove that we are right.
There's an old adage, well, I'm not sure how old it is, that you can't live with them or you can't live without them. Speaking about men, what is it that you can't live without as it relates to men? Excuse me? Can you talk about that, please?
Their company.
The company.
Their company and letting us as women feel safe
Okay.
when we're around them.
So we're not so bad after all.
No. Not all the time.
You want to agree with that, Brittany? You want to agree with that? Want to add to that?
Yeah, their company is significant because there's something you can get from a man that you can't get from a woman, in the sense that there's a difference. So having a man around does set a different tone, and it brings something else to the table. So yeah, I do value that.
Jolie?
To add to that, I would say they bring us back to reality.
Tell me.
I would say that.
Tell me, in what way?
Women are very dreamy. We would think about things and go on and on. Sometimes we make up situations in our head that wasn't even that bad in the first place. And when you go it over with your partner, or just in general a male, they really bring you back to reality. So men do that.
So you guys dream a lot. Cherise, you agree with that? Sort of, right? You know, because I suspect you guys also think ahead. You have plans that you wish if the man was cooperative, he could also help you.
Yeah, we could be
achieve.
happy together, but sometimes it doesn't mean happiness is not everything, I guess.
Say that again?
Happiness is not everything, I guess.
Oh, okay, I suppose.
And dreaming is not really reality.
When God was making you guys, what do you think was in his mind? What was God thinking when he made Chelsea and Brittany and Cherise and Valley? You know, what was he thinking?
I think that while he was creating,
Chelsea.
when he created the animals and he saw them, and then he looked at Adam and said, look at these beings. Look at how they are together. He probably wanted a companion for Adam. So he created Eve to be there to talk to him, express feelings that they will have in common.
Right.
And express to each other things that he won't be able to go along with the animals as. Yeah.
Okay. So if men are maybe saying some bad things about you, what is it that you could bring to the table to prove the man wrong? That, hey, we mean something. You can't do without us because. How do you finish that statement? You can't do without us because.
You can't do without us simply because God created us to be a companion, to be a helpmate.
That's all you're created for, to be a companion.
And not just.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Not just that, but there are certain things that women do and will do and continue to do that men just will never be able to do.
Could you identify some of those
Be
things?
a mother.
All right. Okay. Okay. Wow. Thank God for that. Anything else? Brittany, what is it that you guys bring to the table? We can't do without you because.
Well, I think we bring about a sense of reasoning, in a sense. We kind of we open up the conversation.
Right.
So if we're going to say men are logical, then they might just see one thing and say, well, that's it.
Right.
Whereas a woman might look at it from a different perspective and think, well, maybe Bob might think something different. And so we might work it out in a sense. We open up the dialogue. So I think that's our value.
One of the things I think I picked up from the first half was the guy saying that if you're going to buy some things, you guys may be able to bargain better. You will take a whole day to buy a pair of shoes, even though, you know.
I don't work like that.
Well, sorry to hear that. But I'm glad to hear that, by the way. Right. But a guy will go and he'll just take.
Buy that one.
Yeah.
If we say that we're going in a store for one specific thing,
Right.
and it's expensive, we may want to say, okay, let me go to another store to see if it'll be at a cheaper price.
Right.
The man, however, will say, oh gosh, it done there already.
Right.
Take
Take
it.
it. Right.
Even as expensive as it is. I say, but we look at the logic of things and say what we can make the best of it.
Is it not because you guys just love shopping and love taking us guys all over the place?
It's natural for us to take that care of.
Oh, you call it care?
Yes, yes.
Shopping is care. All right. Finally, God made us male and female. I suppose you will have it no other way, because society is suggesting that he may have made a mistake, or he could have options, male and female and female. Why are you happy that God made male and female? Just tie it up for us.
To be fruitful and multiply.
To be fruitful and multiply. I find you that soft, you know. Say it with some confidence.
To be fruitful and multiply.
Yes, that's confidence enough. Anybody else?
I'm happy he did that because now life is brighter. If it's just male and male, then that's one color. If it's female and female, that's just one color in terms of seeing things and perspective. So having the difference, even with conflict, something beautiful could be produced.
Very good, very good. Well, I want to thank you ladies for taking the time to be with us today. In the beginning, he made male and female, Genesis 1:26. God is a God of variety. Let's look at the panel. Each of them is so different, unique. All are women. So you could see how much you need to understand, how much you need to go to school to understand all of them. But more than that, he made us so that we can complement each other. Because that's how what God is. That's what he's good for. So please value your sex. And hello, value your sex. Male, if you are male, stay male. And thank God for what he has created. If you're female, stay female. And thank God for what he has created. Because that's God's best and that's God's ideal. Thank you for joining us. And we do look forward for you joining us again on JC24/7. Thank you, ladies, for taking time to be with us.